Hi, this is Mike Spokane, the leader and the founder of Church Governance Solutions. Today I want to deal with characteristics of great leaders. I want to speak about characteristics of great leaders because we need to understand who is a leader and who is a great leader so that we can actually have ourselves jacked up to learn leadership skills and become great leaders, because that's very, very important that as leaders, then we become great leaders that people can look up to and people can actually take a leaf off. People can actually take you as a role model in life. You need to be a great leader for that reason. Now, there are characteristics that we need to look at if you want to become a great leader. And the first of all will be the ability to own up to personal mistakes and to correct them. Ability to own up to personal mistakes and correct them. There are people that commit mistakes. They are shifting mistake and the blame to other people. They hardly own up to mistakes. They hardly agree that they are mistaken. And that is not sign of a great leader, because the sign of a great leader is somebody who's able to introspect, somebody who's able to look at him or herself and say, yeah, I'm wrong, and I need to correct this and become better. But remember, as a leader, there are people that are watching you. There are people that are looking after you, really working behind you, trusting you as a role model. And knowing, of course, that you're fallible, knowing that you can commit mistakes, but immediately don't agree and own up to mistakes, that is a sign of arrogance. And a leader that is arrogant is not able to correct their own mistakes. They actually live in their mistakes every day of their lives and never change. And if you are approaching life that way, you'll never be trustworthy, and nobody actually can look up to you as a great leader. So great leaders are able to accept mistakes. They're able to own up to those mistakes and therefore make sure that they don't do them again, because they will correct themselves in that. It is not possible to correct yourself out of mistakes until you accept that you've made a mistake, until you own up to your mistake. That's the only time that one can start to say, then, what is the way forward? And how would I change this is based on your accepting of your own mistakes and acknowledging them, so that you can start now the process of correction, the process of reconstruction of your own life and correcting yourself out of those mistakes. That's the only way you're going to do. Now, the next characteristics of great leaders is ability to plan and implement the plans as well. And I must really say that planning is very key in leadership. And people that are really great leaders, they plan at all times, everything that they do. They'll have programs in line that they've set up in advance. They'll actually plan for those programs, and not only plan, because having a plan that is not implementable is not actually very important in any life of any individual. If you are planning, but yet not implement, that doesn't actually make you to move an inch to get to anywhere better. But great leaders are great planners, and great planners that are actually looking at those plans and follow them up and make sure that they implement and they practice that which they planned, because there's nothing that will be successful in your life even though you got great plans, but as long as you don't implement those plans, that doesn't actually move you any further. And that's very important. Now, great leaders are great planners, but not only great planners, but they are great implementers as well. They articulate their plans and make sure that they follow through that plan and to the dot, to a level where they're actually making sure that things go according to the plan. And they actually measure themselves of the progress that they're doing based on the plans that they're having. So therefore, everything that they put up to and practice or implement, they're looking at the plan and they can gauge if they're making any progress, because without the plan, then you will not know whether you're making a progress or not. Now, that's very, very important. Another characteristic of great leaders is they never find excuses to failures, but rather improve and do better. They never find excuses. They never say, it is not me, it's somebody else. They never say it is because of this. Because when you start to find excuses of every mistake that you do, you're basically not going to be able to change and improve on that mistake. Because when somebody is actually covering up the mistakes that they've done, and they find an excuse or a reason why they've committed that mistake, they will never correct it, because they will actually forever continue blaming things and people around, but yet continue with your mistakes because you are not actually taking ownership of that. We have said this in the beginning, that great leaders, therefore, own up to their mistakes. They don't shift the blame to others. They don't shift the blame of the mistakes to circumstances or even the environment that they're in. They always point at themselves and say, I've done this mistake, so therefore I must own up to it. Therefore I must correct it and become better. And that is what makes a great leader. So if you want to be a great leader, own up to your mistakes. Don't find excuse for any mistake that you do, because that will actually stop you from correcting those mistakes. The people that are great leaders, they've got strong belief in continuous learning and self-development as well. Because a great leader is somebody who knows that they are not people that know it all. They know that there are things that they need to develop in areas of their lives that they scrutinize themselves and introspect and know that I can still develop in a certain area. Now, this is very important, because great leaders, therefore, are great introspectors. They're people that are able to look themselves in the mirror and say, what is that I need to improve? Because if you don't see anything to improve, it actually shows that sign of arrogance once more, whereby you think that you know everything. And I must say, in life, you cannot know everything. In life, you cannot know everywhere. You cannot know everybody. And that is the reason why, even as a great leader, there will be things that you may not know, that others know, that you may actually need to learn from others. And I want to emphasize the fact that learning from others becomes very important. And sometimes the people that you learn from are even your own subordinates. So because you're not going to learn also from, only from the people that are greater leaders than you. You basically can learn from anyone. You can learn from the young and the old. You can also learn from your own subordinates as well. Now, great leaders are open-minded in this regard, therefore, because they know that they can learn from anybody. Now, the concept of self-development, we cannot ignore it when it comes to great leaders. But before you self-develop, you will actually need to identify areas where you need to develop. And that is the reason that great leaders are forever having a book in their hand. There's always something that they are reading to learn. And great leaders as well, they're always very interested in listening to people that know great leadership. And examples, people that are examples of great leaders, they would actually attend seminars, they will attend conferences as well. Great leaders are forever in the path of learning, because they are interested in developing themselves and becoming great characters of leadership in their lives. And this is very important. And I want to emphasize that when we speak about self-development, we speak about ability to read and learn. There are books out there that teaches about great leadership, that teaches about the character of a great leader, that teaches about the characteristics, actually, as we're speaking about, of great leaders as well. People that are interested in developing themselves, they listen to talks of people that speak about great leadership like we do right now. And that's very important, because when you start to learn from others and be ready to improve and develop yourself, then you become even a greater leader. Because people that think that they've arrived and they've reached their pinnacle and there's nothing else to learn, that's the beginning of the death of their leadership. And this is very important that you take note of. Another characteristic of great leaders is the fact that they believe in synergy of working with others together. Now, great leaders are not working in silo. They are not working in their own corner. Great leaders are believing in bring other people and synergize their work and ideas and bring other people to work together with them. Because great leaders believe in teamwork. They know that things cannot be done on your own. There are times when you need others, and others are needing you as well. So in other words, you'll see that great leaders, even when they've got subordinates, they understand that their subordinates are very important, and they are key as well to the growth of their leadership or to their success, because their subordinates are knowing something that you as a leader may not know. And that is why I've said earlier that great leaders are actually open-minded in a way that they can learn from others as well. And when you start to get to a point where you are able to be open-minded to learn from others, then you're on the path of being a great leader. So therefore, synergy of working with others is very key, because there are people that have different skills in life. And remember, when you're a leader, it doesn't mean that you've got all the skills in the world. But great leaders are the ones that are able to bring people of skills, different skills, and synergize them to work together and be able to achieve and succeed in everything that they plan to do. And that's what makes people to be called great leaders. Ability to bring all the skills and make sure that they work in synergy and be able to perform towards the success of the project at hand. That's very, very key. And that's what describes a great leader. Now, I want to also mention that great leaders, they believe actually in the value of time, and they regard time as money. The people that are great leaders, they value time, and they look at time and say time is money. So therefore, they always want to maximize on their time. They always want to look at what am I doing at this particular moment, because they want to use the time very, very economically. They want to use time very well, in a way that every time you use your time as a leader, you must make sure that the time is actually bringing or bearing results for you. Now, in leadership, and great leaders, they don't want to waste time in anything. They don't want to find themselves actually engulfed in time-wasting things. And that is why great leaders will always check and say, what are the time wasters in my life? And they will actually write down those time wasters, and they will actually start working towards eliminating time wasters in life, because people that are great leaders, they see time as a value, and time actually as the money that they're working for. And time is actually life, because without time, therefore, you cannot be able to succeed and progress. So the use of time becomes very important for great leaders. And great leaders that are using time valuably, they are actually successful in life. And as a person that want to be a great leader, please let time be very, very important, and value time in your life. Great leaders never reach a point whereby they say, I've arrived, because as I've said earlier, that they want to empower themselves at all times. They are aware of their weaknesses, they're aware of their strengths as well. They are aware of what they can do and what they cannot do. They are aware of where they need others to supplement them and where they need help from other people. They are able actually to identify skills that they themselves don't have, so that they can actually utilize those skills that are from outside. They can outsource skills from other people. And that's great leadership. And when you are a great leader, you are able, therefore, to see that you need to progress at all times. There's no time when you feel that I've arrived, because you will never arrive in this world. We always learn one thing or two at any given time. And that is why great leaders are forever able to know that they've not arrived. Great leaders, they associate only with people that add value to them, because that's very important. The company of people that you keep, the people that you hang around with, becomes very important. Now, as a great leader, you ask yourself, am I gaining anything out of hanging around with such people? Am I learning anything out of hanging around with such people? Because the people that you hang around with should be the people that will progress you, should be the people that shall push you forward and make you better. But great leaders are able to identify that, therefore, and therefore choose the type of friends that they go along with. They choose the type of company, the people that they hang around with, because they actually value actually their own plans and visions. And that is why great leaders will be selective of people that they hang around with. And that's very key as you want to become a great leader. Great leaders, they have learned they've learned the art of developing others, knowing that developing others has got a tendency of increasing a profile of any leader. Now, when you are a leader, people are actually going to know you by the people that you're mentoring. They are going to know you by the people that you develop. So therefore, great leaders are very obsessed about developing others because that's great leadership. And that's a skill that not many are having. But great leaders are those that have actually replicated themselves by teaching and mentoring others to become greater as well. Now, listen to this. When you are a great leader, you always develop people that would even be better than you. People that would even be greater than you. And that's very key, because when you start to look at developing people to a level where they are greater than you, that shows great leadership. And I want to emphasize that if you want to be a great leader, please make sure that you develop others and make them greater than who you are. And that will actually hallmark you as a great leader. I want to end up here today. Your host, Mike Connor Spokane. Thank you very much for listening to us and be part of this great topic. I would actually take it further tomorrow. I want you to join us as we deal with this topic and just further it a little bit more tomorrow. And I hope you'll join us. Don't forget also to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure also that you click that notification button. Make sure that every video that comes through, you're notified of and you're able to follow us. And may the good Lord bless you and allow me to say cheers for now.